Healing is not a destination, it's a journey, and I'm still very much learning as I go. But when the thought of meditating made me want to scream into the abyss, it got me thinking, is this healing journey actually for me? Hey, and welcome. You're listening to These Boots Are Made for Healing with me, Leanne Harris. I'm an inner freedom coach. And before we dive in today, I just want to really quickly say that I am not a clinician. I'm not here to give medical advice. Everything I share today comes from my own personal experience and what I've been learning along the way and how it's helped me. Right, let's get into it. So I joined belief coding back in 2023 because I wanted to work on my own lack of confidence and my low self-esteem. I started out with so much enthusiasm and excitement. I genuinely believed that within just a few months, I would be this brand new person, full of confidence, and the world would suddenly become my oyster. How cute. Because I didn't realize that there would be a massive brick wall in the way that I would suddenly hit and have to overcome first. Because at the beginning, I struggled. I really, really struggled. Part of our certification is to swap sessions within the community. So we have to give a number and receive a number of sessions. But could I reach out for sessions? Nope, not at all. Every time I tried to ask someone, I stopped myself. I wasn't ready to offer swap share, so I didn't want to receive sessions and not be able to give them back. And I just felt like I couldn't fully contribute towards the full training. But then when I did finally pick up the courage to ask for sessions, they just took hours on me, like for me receiving the sessions. They took hours. And then even after that session, I just felt like they didn't even work. So it put me off asking again because I just felt like I was taking up time, just being a mass burden, taking up somebody's time when they could be working on somebody else who was easier to fix. One of the beautiful things about belief coding as well is that you are actually also taught how to self-facilitate. So I thought, fine, I'll do it myself. I don't need to rely on anyone else or another facilitator to help me. This is also a belief that I need to work on, but I will save that for another day. So I tried to self-facilitate, but I struggled with that too. I couldn't get my human compass to work. So that's your sway test that moves forwards or backwards in response to yes or no questions. I couldn't get that to work. And even when I did get that to work, I didn't trust the information coming through to be true. And also in sessions where someone facilitates me, I usually need a bit of guidance to get to the memory, to get to that trapped emotion, to the root cause of what the issue is. So when I tried to do it on myself, I just found it really, really hard to be both the facilitator and the facilitatee. I think I've just made that up, but I'm going to keep it. So I asked around in the community. In fact, I just put up a load of woe is me posts, just moaning how I'm broken and nothing's working and blah, 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 blah. Anyway, I reached out into the community and someone mentioned that it could be about safety. And I thought, what do you mean safety? I'm sat here at home in my pajamas. I am safe. So I didn't fully understand. So I was also told to journal, just to keep a diary of what's going on. But even that made me frustrated. If I missed a day or a few days, I'd feel like I'd completely failed, like I was doing it wrong. Like, how can I not even write daily how I'm feeling? And slowly I started spiraling. I slipped into what I now recognize as victim mode. So I was feeling broken, feeling like I would never ever heal, like everybody else seemed to understand this apart from me. In the belief coding community, most people were sharing these incredible shifts and breakthroughs. And meanwhile, I was just sat there feeling more triggered, more angry, more depressed, the list of discomforts I wanted to work on seemed to just get longer and longer instead of shorter. So instead of sat there ticking them off, every day I was just adding something new. And then that sent me spiraling even more, thinking, how on earth am I ever going to fix all of this if I can't even do the work properly? I fell into this pattern of feeling sorry for myself and just repeating the negative stories in my head, telling myself that I wasn't capable, just proving to my subconscious over and over again that maybe I just wasn't good enough to fix myself. But what I understand now is that victim mode isn't always about weakness or wanting sympathy. Often it is the nervous system trying to keep things predictable. When your body has spent such a long time in stress, disappointment, or self doubt, that state just starts to feel familiar. And we all know the point of the nervous system is to keep you safe. It will choose familiar over the unknown every time, even if the familiar place is somewhere you're unhappy, because it knows that familiar equals safe. So when you try to grow, to change, or to step into something bigger, to step outside of that comfort zone, your system will very quickly pull you back into that old story, because staying where you are feels safer than risking something new. I started looking deeper into why the work wasn't landing for me. And I learned that my nervous system had been on high alert for such a long time. I'm not saying my life has been traumatic, far from it, but even small things we don't consciously think about can leave a mark in the body. Things like ADHD, endometriosis, stress, big birth trauma. I had surgery on my hip when I was born, my parents divorcing when I was younger. All of these experiences live somewhere in the body. There's actually a book that I want to read called The Body Keeps the Score. Um, it's really very good, and it does delve into that a bit deeper. So let me know if anybody has actually read that, because I definitely have that on my list as one to read. And once I started learning more about the nervous system, the advice everywhere seemed to be the same. In order to move forwards, I needed to slow down. And then that just naturally got me thinking, slow down, meditation. So I tried meditating. And honestly, it just made me worse. I felt like I was getting more angry, more anxious. I tried all different types. I tried guided meditations with gentle voices, just guiding you um, through the meditation. I tried listening to just sort of calming, relaxing music. I tried sitting in silence and just being with my own breath and my own thoughts, but my brain just would not switch off. And the more I tried it, the more frustrated I was feeling. And yeah, it was just awful. And I'd sit there just thinking, I don't have time for this. I should be working on my business. I should be making money. I should not sat here listening to music or like humming. um, and the journaling wasn't helping either. I just felt silly. I felt like I was back at school just writing down, dear diary, today I am angry with myself again. I felt like I wasn't healing, that I was just literally keeping a track of my food entries, weather reports, and like a mood tracker. That it wasn't actually going deep and doing any healing. But then what I did realize through journaling, through everything, was that I was on such high alert. So just to expect my nervous system to suddenly become calm overnight, that's never going to work, is it? I literally felt like I'd hit a brick wall at full speed. So when I learned that, actually, I learned that animals, when they experience fear, once that threat has passed, they physically shake to release that energy from their bodies. We as people don't tend to do that. We just bury that stress deep down inside and just carry on as if nothing has happened. So yeah, sounds pretty healthy, right? So I started looking into something called somatic movement, things like stretching, shaking, walking. And that's when something actually clicked for me because I love music and I love movement. I love dancing. So I just started dancing around in the mornings like an absolute loon, just dancing like nobody's watching to my favorite music, to this primal tribal music with drums and just like whatever mood I was in that morning, just listening to music, just shaking, singing, humming, sometimes even roaring like at the top of my voice, just roaring. Honestly, I do wonder what my neighbors must think sometimes. But it works. For me, it genuinely did work. I felt so stupid, but it did genuinely work. And it did make me realize something, that this is probably why I've always felt so free and so happy at festivals and gigs when I'm going dancing. Just dancing around in the mud, in my wellies, without a care in the world. That is nervous system regulation right there. I just didn't know it yet. um, so also, that's one of the reasons why I wanted to call this podcast These Boots Are Made for Healing, because I've always felt safe in my boots. So, like a pair of welly boots, a pair of hiking boots, dancing boots, just walking about in my DMs. There's something about putting on a pair of boots that just sends signals to my brains. This is safe, even when I'm at the top of a mountain, apparently. So, another thing I've also started exploring is Reiki. And I've had a few sessions and I found it really interesting. And actually, later this month, I have mentioned it, I'll be joined by the amazing Phoenix Healing, who will be talking to us more about how Reiki works and how it does support the nervous system. So do make sure you tune in to that episode because I, for one, am really looking forward to it. So, your nervous system is basically your body's alarm system. It's constantly scanning for safety or threat. And this goes all the way back to prehistoric times when survival meant literally dealing with predators and very real physical danger. So we might not be facing saber-toothed tigers anymore, but our nervous system is still scanning for threats. So that could be 1,000 unread emails in your inbox or answering the telephone when it rings. I do have to apologize to anybody who does ring me because clearly my brain thinks you're a tiger and I don't want to answer that phone call. So I don't answer the call. Even things like housework or social media can trigger that alarm system. For me, that looks like hours and hours of doom scrolling, not leaving the house for days, avoiding social media completely. I also recently learned as well that endometriosis can actively contribute to a dysregulated nervous system. And that was a big light bulb moment for me because it did explain how no matter how hard I tried to relax, I just couldn't seem to. My body just wouldn't allow it because my body was on such high alert all the time. So when I started to try and regulate my nervous system properly, I can't get my words out. I'm not going to lie, it was tough. It was so tough. I just couldn't understand why I couldn't do it. But now, learning more about it has changed everything. I'm not blaming myself anymore. Um, I know that I just need to find what works. I've tried lots of different things. I've tried grounding, breath work, cold water, plunges, EFT. Some of them helped a little, some didn't resonate at all. But the one thing that has stuck for me at this moment in time is movement, just dancing, because it feels fun and it feels freeing. So, building daily habits is also something that I'm still trying to learn to get used to. And I'm trying not to be so hard on myself about it. If I drop the ball for a few days, that's absolutely okay. I can just pick up the ball, back up again when I feel good about it. daily walks are something that I've let slip recently. So working from home does mean that sometimes I can literally go days without even leaving the house. And that is definitely something that I'm trying to work on. I did start going for walks regularly. I was going out with my sister once a day. But we were going in the mornings, and then that would just set my nervous system off because I was thinking I shouldn't be going for walks. I should be sat here working. I can't go out for a walk until I start earning. And again, it was all just about regulating my nervous system, because building a business shouldn't come at the cost of your well-being. In fact, it depends on it. So that's definitely something that I'm still trying to work on. But the fun part in all of this is that discovering what regulates your nervous system can actually be a bit of an adventure. There's so many things out there. And it doesn't have to look serious or clinical. It could be a walk, it could be a shake, it could be a full-on karaoke session in your kitchen. And what I love most about being human is that we are all completely different in our own beautiful way. What works for one person might not work for someone else. And my sister and I are perfect examples of this. So we're so similar in so many ways, but complete polar opposites in others. And I absolutely love that. So I will leave you with this. If you have been struggling to slow down, if you feel like you're constantly racing, but you're not getting anywhere, it might just be your body trying to tell you something. It could be saying, this doesn't feel quite safe yet. So start gently. Just find one small thing that helps your body feel calm or grounded, and then build from there. And if you've enjoyed today's episode, please do give it a like and a follow. Make sure you subscribe. And if you do know someone else who might benefit from this episode, please do give it a share. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you in the next episode.